Monday, April 7th. It's time for our monthly meeting of the Logansport Common Council. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Roll call, please.
Jeremy Ashcraft.
Here.
Bob Bishop.
Here.
Joe Buck.
Here.
Gary Fox.
Here.
Charlie Hastings.
Here.
Chuck Liddell.
Present.
Teresa Popejoy. Present.
Approval of minutes from the March 3rd, 2014 meeting.
Your Honor, I make a motion that the minutes be approved as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote on approval of the minutes.
Teresa Popejoy. Yes. Chuck Liddell.
Yes.
Charlie Hastings.
Yes.
Gary Fox.
Yes.
Joe Buck.
Yes.
Bob Bishop.
Yes.
Jeremy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Approval of minutes passes on a vote of 7 in favor, 0 opposed. Council, thank you very much for your patience and understanding as we work through a number of different issues. As some of you are aware, we held a 3-day planning charrette over last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Some exciting possibilities there. There are only possibilities at this time. We will keep you informed as things develop with that. And also update on power plant negotiations. They continue, and we are making steady progress. Don't want to give you a date yet, but we certainly expect something to happen in the very near future. Are there any petitions or comments of citizens? Please come forward, state your name.
Mercedes Brew, 1315 East Market Street. I'm here to invite you to our event at McHale, a public power event. That will be April 23rd at 7 p.m. We're very excited about the speakers that we have. One of them is Skip Cooper, who will tell us about his experience with public power. We also have the president of the American Public Power Association coming, so we're real excited about that. Some people might think that Logansport Municipal Utilities avails itself to all the advantages of public power, which is not the case. So I hope that you come and learn about some of the advantages that LMU might be getting if this community decided to continue to go with public power.
Did you say 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock,
Okay.
April 23rd. That's the Wednesday after Easter.
Thanks, Mercedes.
Thank you. Are there any more petitions or comments of citizens?
Members of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, I make the following comments as a citizen. My name is Jim Brew. I live at 1315 East Market Street, and my focus is upon what was just referred to as power plant. The majority of the council has charted an ambiguous map for the city's electricity generation. You issued a request for proposals in early 2013 for a public-private agreement that specified waste, trash, as the fuel. You said that the vendor must demonstrate that it had the capital to fund the project in order to be eligible. You awarded that contract to Pyrolyzer LLC. Then in December of 2013, you said Pyrolyzer did not have the capital. You either got that wrong or you were misled. Either way, that is a serious flaw from the municipal finance point of view. I've seen no responsibility taken. With zero discussion, the majority of the council voted to extend the mayor's authority to negotiate with Pyrolyzer, together with other vendors. You offered no explanation why you did not terminate the public-private conversation with Pyrolyzer that you had always previously said was exclusive of the city speaking with any other vendors in 2013. You have no plans, no specifications, no engineering, which is required by the Home Rule Law and the Lease to Purchase Law, which your amended ordinance references. Since you had no discussion, there is no way for the public to discern any rationale. You continue to authorize the mayor to negotiate to privatize electricity generation. There has never been public discussion regarding such an important social economic question which changes the history of what has been practiced in this community. The mayor recently referred to generation with natural gas as the fuel. The opposition to this suggested that approach, natural gas, before you decided to spend $1.25 million to burn trash. You owe the public, I'm talking about the majority, you owe the public an explanation for your change of course. You owe the public an explanation of how you spent so much money. Otherwise, the way you, the majority, chart a course appears reckless. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Are there any reports from committees, boards, or commissions?
Public Works met twice last month regarding abandoned vehicles and a vacation of an alley.
Finance Committee met twice last month, one time without a quorum, as I understand it, in regard to items that are on the agenda tonight regarding blighted properties.
I think we did
And
end up
grant
with a quorum.
opportunities.
Charlie came in late.
Okay.
Okay, are there any more reports from committees, boards, or commissions?
I'd like to, today was Good Government Day. We had a group from the high school, from freshmen all the way to seniors, and I think they had a very good time, and I think they learned a lot. It was very enlightening to see the interest that our Logansport High School students put into learning something about city government. And I think they all had a good time, and myself, I really enjoyed it. It was very enlightening to see their interest and the way they took up things for a mock city council meeting. Their opinions and ideas were just unbelievable. I think we've got a very bright bunch coming. Proud to have them in Logansport.
Councilman Bishop?
Yeah, I agree with Joe. It was an outstanding day today with the students. They did an awesome job going through some of the same ordinances that we're dealing with here tonight. And they actually asked a lot of the same questions that we've been asking, even though they didn't know what we've been talking about. So it was great. I learned a lot from them, to their views of what the younger people are thinking about. Had a lot of discussion about the swimming pool, and being their age, it was very informative to me to hear what they had to say. I'd also like to thank the fire department and the street department. I noticed, I saw it was in the paper even, that I saw them one day cleaning up East Market Street. They were out there with their hoses and their brooms, and they cleaned off up there by Eastgate. So I really appreciate them going the extra mile to make that look really nice. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Under old business, ordinance 2014-06 on second reading. Councilman Bishop, please.
Ordinance 2014-06 for the rezoning of Ivy Tech area. Your Honor, I call for a vote on ordinance 2014-06.
Second.
Second reading.
Ordinance
Second.
2014-06 has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote on ordinance 2014-06 on second reading.
Jeremy Ashcraft,
Yes.
Bob Bishop,
Yes.
Joe Buck,
Yes.
Gary Fox,
Yes.
Charlie Hastings.
Yes.
Chuck Liddell.
Yes.
Teresa Popejoy.
Yes.
Ordinance 2014-06 passes on second reading on a vote of 7 in favor and 0 opposed. Ordinance 2014-07. Councilman Hastings, please.
Ordinance 2014-07, textual amendments to the downtown overlay district in the Logansport and fringe zoning ordinance. Your Honor, I call for a second vote on ordinance 2014-07.
Second.
Ordinance 2014-07 has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll call for a vote on ordinance 2014-07.
Charlie Hastings,
Yes.
Chuck Liddell.
Yes.
Teresa Popejoy,
Yes.
Gary Fox.
Yes.
Joe Buck,
Yes.
Bob Bishop.
Yes.
Jeremy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Ordinance 2014-07 passes on a vote of 7 in favor, 0 opposed. Ordinance 2014-08. Councilperson Popejoy, please.
Ordinance 2014-08, textual amendments for senior housing use in Table A in the Logansport and fringe zoning ordinance. Mayor Franklin, I call for a vote on ordinance 2014-08.
Second.
Ordinance 2014-08 has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote on ordinance 2014-08.
Jeremy Ashcraft,
Yes.
Bob Bishop.
Yes.
Joe Buck.
Yes.
Gary Fox.
Yes.
Charlie Hastings.
Yes.
Chuck Liddell.
Yes.
Teresa Popejoy.
Yes.
Ordinance 2014-08 passes on a vote of 7 in favor, 0 opposed on second reading. Ordinance 2014-09. Councilman Buck, please.
Ordinance 2014-09, textual amendments of planned unit development, PUD standards, and the addition of elements to the comprehensive plan in the Logansport and fringe zoning ordinance. Your Honor, I call for a vote on 2014-09.
Second.
Ordinance 2014-09 has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote.
Bob Bishop.
Yes.
Joe Buck.
Yes.
Gary Fox.
Yes.
Charlie Hastings.
Yes.
Chuck Liddell.
Yes.
Teresa Popejoy.
Yes.
Jeremy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Ordinance 2014-09 passes on a vote of 7 in favor, 0 opposed. Ordinance 2014-10. Councilman Ashcraft, please.
Ordinance 2014-10, textual amendments to the Logansport Gateway Overlay District in the Logansport and fringe zoning ordinance. Mayor Franklin, I call for a vote on ordinance 2014-10.
Second.
Ordinance 2014-10 has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote on ordinance 2014-10 on second reading.
Gary Fox.
Yes.
Charlie Hastings.
Yes.
Chuck Liddell.
Yes.
Teresa Popejoy.
Yes.
Joe Buck.
Yes.
Bob Bishop.
Yes.
Jeremy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Ordinance 2014-10 passes on second reading on a vote of 7 in favor, 0 opposed. Under new business, Resolution 2014-12. That would be Councilman Fox, please.
Resolution 2014-12, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, regarding Community Development Block Grant. I motion for Resolution 2014-12.
Second.
Resolution 2014-12 has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Councilman Bishop.
Okay, I'm getting these straightened out here. This is for the owner-occupied grant where the city taxpayers would pay the 10% match. Is that correct? For up to $25,000.
I'm going to ask Community Development Director and Building Commissioner to come forward, field the questions on this.
Okay. I don't know. We have the, I guess the bullet points that we got in committee on here. I'm not sure if is there more to this? I suppose there's more to this grant than, I mean, is it probably a pretty thick document?
Yeah, I think the actual grant document is about 45 pages.
Okay, so some of these questions maybe I will ask, maybe in that we just don't have. So, first of all,
Hey, Bob, before you go any farther,
Go ahead.
there's there's a resolution and an ordinance.
Right.
Are they the same,
Two
different
issues.
things?
I'm going to let these guys explain it.
There's
Yep.
there's two documents here. One's a resolution, one's an ordinance, and they look like the same.
Originally, it was just a resolution, and then when we thought we needed money, we were told to do an ordinance to move the money, and now we do not need money for this. I had sent you guys all an email from the guy at IHCDA, and they are telling us that we have funds left over from previous community block grants that will cover our 10% match.
So when you get down to ordinance 2014, the ordinance regarding development block grant, it's no longer
We
necessary.
do not need that anymore, no.
You can table that one.
I would actually like to see this be an ordinance myself. And so I would like to, if that's the case, I'd like to amend this resolution to an ordinance. I believe this is something that is a controversial subject. I think we should have two readings on this. And we did also actually, like you said, we agreed in committee meeting that this would be an ordinance. I know the part of the grant requires 2 public hearings. Is that correct?
It requires 2, yes. One prior to the grant application being submitted, and then the second prior to the final inspection of the property that's being worked on.
Right. So that kind of tells me, because it's seldom that I've seen when we have hearings, that we have more than one hearing. So that tells me that, I think the state thinks that this could be controversial. And
The state only requires a resolution, and we do need a resolution for the grant itself. So if you want an ordinance as well, I guess we'll have to bring that back next month for a first vote, because the ordinance that was written before would not work because it talks about using money.
Right.
So it'll have to be
Just because
rewritten.
the state requires a resolution, that doesn't mean that we can't require an
No,
ordinance.
that's fine, but I'm saying we still need the resolution.
It'd be just like from the redevelopment commission, we send on resolutions because that's all we do is resolutions. But then once we get here, we would like it to be an ordinance a lot of times. And I would like this to be an ordinance just so people have more time to give the public input.
She's indicating that she needs the resolution in order to apply for the grant.
Right.
We can continue on with an ordinance in addition to that, but she needs both. She needs that. She at least needs this resolution to apply for the grant.
And Bob, the way the grant document is crafted, the intent of the 2 public hearings are specifically for participant education to ensure that on the front end, prior to the application being submitted, that there are a multitude of things that are covered and gone through. As an example, we are required to provide an interpreter or a first hearing in a non-English language to support the community needs. We are also to be required to educate the aged in the ability of what they can and can't do within their homes within the grant envelope that they're providing. And the second public hearing is to ensure that pre-final inspection by Indiana Housing and Community Development, that the participants are fully aware of the items that have to be specifically taken care of prior to the final inspection. So the 2 hearings are grant-driven specifically for participant education. But as Chris said, if you want to go to an ordinance level, that certainly is your prerogative. Be aware of the schedule that we are looking at, that the grant on this owner repair process is due to the state in the 3rd week of August. For our benefit, we need to drive the grants being completed 2 weeks prior to that, so that we have a chance to go through the grant applications to ensure all items are met before we post them on the state FTP site. So But however, if an ordinance is critical at this stage, I mean, it's certainly...
I can say that I've had more calls on this particular issue than I've had all of my calls total in my first 2 years. And so it obviously has stirred up the community. And actually none of them has been in support of this, so to different degrees. They have not been in support of it. Some of the questions that I have, first of all, who runs the grant? Who decides who gets the grants?
The applicant is required to go through a scoring matrix, which is set up by the Indiana Housing Community Development Group. They have to score a minimum of 70 points on that matrix. The max is 105, minimum is 70. Indiana Housing Community Development makes the decision who is awarded the grant and who is not awarded the grant.
And who's that? Is that in the city of Logansport?
No, that is at the state level.
So we have people out, at the state level determining this. So how do they verify the people's incomes? Because that's what drives this, correct?
Well, that's just one of the particulars, is the income
low
level.
income.
That's driven by the documents that are submitted by the homeowner to verify their income levels. Items such as a W-2 or a payroll report from your current employer and things such as that. They also have to provide proof of ownership. They have to provide that they have a title to the property, to the property. It's not a rental property. I mean, there's different steps they have to go through.
So they have to prove their income. Do they have to prove that their taxes are paid?
I have not seen that in any of the documents as of yet. That can be something that, as a administrator, that the city can add as a burden of responsibility to that. I mean, as I said during the committee meeting, we have the ability to establish the city guidelines as well as adhering to the state guidelines.
Okay, good. So we can add our own stipulations on this grant that have to be met for this grant. The council can add those?
I mean, I'm not an attorney, but I believe that by creating a resolution or creating an ordinance, the city has the right to apply restrictions or requirements underneath the resolution or the ordinance.
Yeah, because I would want to make sure that they're tax paid, because we have found, as you guys know, that in previous grants we've had people that hadn't paid their property taxes that received a grant, and we certainly don't want that. And then such as another thing, do they have to prove that they're a citizen?
No, I do not. I think that came up actually on a national level where it is not required that you're a citizen to receive.
So we can have people here that are in the country illegally can apply for this and receive this grant from U.S. taxpayers?
It's my belief that's not unique to this grant. It's any grant that's being awarded at the state or federal level.
That's all I have. Thanks.
Okay, is there any more discussion regarding Resolution 2014-12?
If I could, Mayor, please, I would like to add just a couple pieces. I mean, one of the goals our department has is not to burden the taxpayer with the 10%. I mean, we understand the sensitivity, and we certainly recognize the need for people that are getting something to participate. Through the 2 committee meetings that we have been to, we've heard some suggestions and we've heard some ideas. We have reached out to some local business owners here, and I'll use one, I mean, and hopefully he will not be offended, but Todd Miller and I have spoke, and Todd is more than willing to pick up to 10% match for any of his employees that participate in our awarded a portion of the grant. We have also reached out to Tyson. Tyson has sent us back communication to go to the next level. They find it very interesting and they're willing to participate, but we have to go through their grant application process as well. But the community liaison lady at the plant, as well as her next in line superior, are both fully willing to move forward and try to assist us in the 10% match. And the conversations with Tyson to date, they haven't excluded it just to their own employees. They're looking at is it something they could do to support the community through their current system. Again, we also are looking at the other grant where we're talking about the blight elimination process. Part of that is that we're looking at deconstruction for a certain percentage of those homes. That material is allowed to be taken into as an in-kind donation to the city for the value by the contractor that's doing the work. So there are different avenues that we are currently working on to reduce the overall burden to the taxpayer. For our department, or for me personally, even if the city council says we support it, but we just can't see spending taxpayers' money, I would recommend at least allow us the opportunity to use the grant by seeking other avenues.
We are using taxpayer money no matter how we do it, though, correct?
We are using, yes.
The state funding is taxpayer money.
Yeah, it's just not city money, city taxpayer money. Well, actually, we've already paid that.
Right.
From what I hear, we just overpaid before, so this is a credit we have.
Is there a maximum level?
The way the grant is written, they're using a $350,000 value. There are caveats to that, because if a home is going through the inspection process, and if there is a lead-based paint issue, if there is an environmental issue on the property, that specific applicant has the ability to go beyond the single point contribution. If you remember, the way the grant is set up, it's a $15,000 max on a residence with no basement. It's a $25,000 max on a resident with a basement. But if either one of those residents fall into lead abatement issues or environmental issues that are going to drive it higher than that minimum or maximum value, they will allow that in some cases. So, and it won't have an effect on the $350,000 maximum value. It will be about volume that will be allowed to increase.
One final here. So I'm clear. I will only agree with this grant if I agree that if we are able to put these requirements on the recipients, and in other words, if they don't have to prove, if we can say they have to prove citizenship, I may support this, but there's no way I'm going to support this if you're going to tell me we're going to take money from our taxpayers and give it to somebody that's not even in this country legally. So,
just because someone is not a citizen does not mean they are in this country illegally, and I take issue with you repeating that comment a second
good.
time.
And just because they are not in this country legally doesn't mean that they don't pay taxes, because a lot of them are employed and are on the tax rolls.
Good. Then they can fix up their own house.
The one caveat I would say about it, I believe, in my opinion, you can add that to a resolution document or to an ordinance document. Whether it's legal to do that or put that burden on, I'd have to rely on
I think our constituents would actually want that, Maybe you guys disagree, but I certainly, I think they do.
I'd like to point out that, Mr. Bishop, you continue to talk about illegal aliens. You continue to talk about people that haven't paid their property taxes. You continue to talk about everyone except the people that this really could benefit, and that's the senior citizens in this community. Most of the people in this community that have been here for a long time are living on fixed incomes, and their incomes are very limited. I know that they survive on approximately $11,000 a year. And let me tell you, with the cost of utilities and trying to just feed yourself, keep your medicines and pay for your insurance and whatnot, $11,000 doesn't leave you money to repair your roof when it falls in. And I feel like this is an opportunity for these people to be recognized because they have been long-term members of this community, and I don't see it as welfare. They have worked their lives. They have contributed to this community. They are productive citizens who are unable to do this for themselves now because of physical or financial limitations. And I personally feel like this would be an absolutely outstanding opportunity for those individuals. And
You
I
say-
fully support it.
You say this isn't welfare. I'm sorry, this is the definition of welfare. So, I'm sorry, you're wrong there.
Okay, is there any more discussion? Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. There is no more discussion. We'll call for a vote on Resolution 2014-12. I'm sorry.
The grant money that's already banked,
We received
Grant
word
match.
that, yes, the city of Logansport has a little over $43,000 in banked funds with the state that are allocated for grants such as this.
which would cover the 10% match for the 350,000.
It would cover the 10% match up to 43,000, yes.
With that in mind, if it's already in the bank, I think I can go along with it.
With no stipulations.
I still would like to see the stipulations that the taxes are paid, definitely. Should be at least current on their taxes. That tells me that they are a productive citizen.
Okay, just one point with that is, this is a grant that will place a lien on the property for a total of 3 years. It's a 3-year loan on, or lien on the property. So, in addition to that, the 3-year period, the property owners have to maintain property liability insurance for the full 3 years as well. There are a couple 3-year attachments as part of this grant that the participant has to agree to. So the only reason I bring that up, when you craft the final resolution or the final ordinance, take that in mind, that it is for a 3-year incremental period that the lien will be there. The property owner will be under the burden of the grant reward for 3 years.
And council, in consultation with the city attorney, he believes at this point in time this could be adopted tonight and then amended later if you choose to come back and add those other layers onto it. But that's a council decision either way, but that's just where it could follow that path. Call for a vote on Resolution 2014-12.
Teresa Popejoy.
Yes.
Chuck Liddell.
Yes.
Charlie Hastings.
Yes.
Gary Fox.
Yes.
Joe Buck.
Yes.
Bob Bishop.
No.
Jeremy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Resolution 2014-1 passes on a vote of 6 in favor and 1 opposed. Resolution 2014, I'm sorry, that was Resolution 2014-12, passes on a 6-1 vote.
Yeah.
Resolution 2014-13, whose turn is it? Councilman Ashcraft.
Resolution 2014-13, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana regarding blighted property grants. Mayor Franklin, I call for a vote on Resolution 2014-13.
Second.
Resolution 2014-13 has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote on Resolution 2014-13.
Jeremy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Bob Bishop.
Yes.
Joe Buck.
Yes.
Gary Fox.
Yes.
Charlie Hastings.
Yes.
Chuck Liddell.
Yes.
Teresa Popejoy.
Yes.
Resolution 2014-13 passes on a vote of 7 in favor, 0 opposed. Resolution 2014-14. Councilman Liddell, please.
Resolution 2014-14, a resolution of the Logansport Parks and Recreation Board to accept the grant from the Cass County Visitors Bureau. Your Honor, I call for a vote on Resolution 2014-14.
Second.
Resolution 14-14 has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote on Resolution 2014-14.
Teresa Popejoy.
Yes.
Chuck Liddell.
Yes.
Charlie Hastings.
Yes.
Jeremy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Bob Bishop.
No.
Joe Buck.
Yes.
Gary Fox.
Yes.
Resolution 2014-14 passes on a vote of 6 in favor, 1 opposed. Ordinance 2014-11, Councilman Bishop, please.
Ordinance 2014-11, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, amending Ordinance 2008-10 regarding abandoned vehicles. Your Honor, I call for a vote on 2014-11.
Second.
Ordinance 2014-11 has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor, I have a question, and I apologize for not being here at the committee meeting, but I was on vacation. In Section 4, Article 1, under exceptions, it has one vehicle is permitted to be sitting on private property per residence if it's owned by the resident, is being worked on by the resident, only if parked beside the home rental property, in the driveway, or behind said property. No vehicles are permitted to be parked in a front yard. So am I correct in inferencing from this that it can be parked in the yard beside the home or in the backyard, but just not in the front yard? Is that correct?
That's the way it reads, yes. I think that was, that came out of a committee meeting with the changes, suggested changes.
Right, that was the one I missed. Well, I would like to, in knowing the history of the abandoned vehicles back to 08, I know that, people parking in backyard side is an issue. So I would like to offer an amendment on this ordinance as presented, and that would be in Section 4 exceptions, where it says only if it is parked in a driveway on said property. I think that gets us right back to parking in green spaces, and that's something that I did hear a lot of as a member of the City Council, and figure that would be something that I would hear more from. So just only if it is parked in a driveway on said property, because there are homes that have parking pads or driveways in the back. There are homes that have parking pads or driveways along the side of the house, and I wasn't sure if they were intending it to be that, but I don't think we want people putting their car up on jacks between two houses that have 15 feet between the doors and leaving them in the yard while they're working on them. So that's my amendment motion.
All right, Mr. Liddell, on the sentence that comes after that, currently reads, "No vehicles are permitted to be parked in a front yard."
Mm-hmm.
Does your amendment take that out or leave it in?
We can take that out.
Okay. So I'm going to read to you what I think your amendment is, or I guess I'll read the Section 4 on how it would look if the amendment passed. And you tell me if I'm correct or incorrect. This article does not apply to the following vehicles. One vehicle is permitted to be sitting on private property per residence if it is owned by the resident and is being worked on by the resident, only if it is parked in a driveway on said property, period.
Perfect.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, council, that was in the form of an amendment. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Call for a vote on the amendment.
Jeremy Ashcraft,
Yes.
Bob Bishop,
No.
Joe Buck,
No.
Gary Fox,
Yes.
Charlie Hastings,
Yes.
Chuck Liddell,
Yes.
Teresa Popejoy.
Yes.
The amendment passes on a vote of 5-2. Is there any more discussion regarding ordinance 2014-11 in its entirety? Hearing none, we'll vote on ordinance 2014-11 in its entirety,
Jeremy Ashcraft,
as amended.
Yes.
Bob Bishop,
No.
Joe Buck,
Yes.
Gary Fox,
Yes.
Charlie Hastings.
Yes.
Chuck Liddell,
Yes.
Teresa Popejoy.
Yes.
Ordinance 2014-11 passes on first reading on a vote of 6 in favor and 1 opposed. Ordinance 2014-12. Councilman Hastings, please.
Ordinance 2014-12, vacation of alley 1828 Clifton Avenue, Terry and Helen Cabot. Your Honor, call for a first vote on ordinance 2014-12.
Second.
Ordinance 2014-12 has been moved and properly seconded. We have representatives here of 1828 Clifton Avenue if you have any questions. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote on ordinance 2014-12.
Teresa Popejoy,
Yes.
Chuck Liddell,
Yes.
Charlie Hastings.
Yes.
Gary Fox,
Yes.
Joe Buck,
Yes.
Bob Bishop,
Yes.
Jeremy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Ordinance 2014-12 passes on a vote of 7 in favor, 0 opposed. Ordinance 2014-13. That was the one that I believe can be tabled from the ordinance, or from the agenda. Would somebody make that motion?
Your Honor, I make a motion that ordinance 2014-13 be tabled till a later date.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Do we need a vote on this? We'll call for the vote on tabling ordinance 2014-13.
Gary Fox,
Yes.
Charlie Hastings.
Yes.
Chuck Liddell,
Yes.
Teresa Popejoy,
Yes.
Joe Buck,
Yes.
Bob Bishop,
Yes.
Jeremy Ashcraft.
Yes.
Ordinance 2014-13 has been tabled. Are there any board member comments? Miscellaneous business, including matters not already considered. Council, I would like to refresh your memory just a little bit. On January 6, 2014, you reauthorized and expanded my authority to negotiate regarding the power plant. It was done legal. It was done in an open meeting. It was open and transparent. In the last month, my office has provided 1,236 pages of documents that explain exactly how the $1,250,000 has been spent. And I want to read to you one more time the ruling that was handed down by the Supreme Court of the state of Indiana. A reading of the act as a whole indicates that it is designed to promote economic development, which is executed in a way that is transparent and open to the public input and scrutiny. The record before us reflects that the city complied with the act in every particular. That's all I have to say. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We're adjourned.